Alright, welcome back to Urban X TV.
Yeah.
We got Black Dot in the building.
This is a familiar place. We ain't been in my lab in a minute.
We didn't do this in a while.
So I kind of felt it was time to just kind of get a little one-on-one conversation and about some things that's going on. And in the future, this will be a Patreon piece.
Right.
Where, I get to exclusively talk to our paying customers.
Right.
And give them insight on some things that I feel that's important. Today's conversation is hip hop versus hip pop, Pusha T versus Drake.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot going on with that. Feel free at any time to interject.
Cool. As I do.
As you do. My disclaimer is this is everything and this is nothing.
Okay.
At the same time. Now everything is everything, and if we can connect it in a way that's not trivial and mundane, I feel it is important. Our thought stream now is being co-opted. And it's being co-opted because if you're on any social media outlets, you cannot avoid the Pusha T Drake conversation. You are almost engulfed in it involuntarily. And that's because of the advent of social media. Mm-hmm. So this is why I feel, and because I'm going to peel back some layers that I feel that most people won't peel back in the way that I do. I wrote the cult classic Hip Hop Decoded and Urban Culture Decoded to deal with these same subjects in greater detail. So while some people may feel that this is mundane and it is a distraction, it is true. While others may feel this is something that has the mind of our youth, and if we can put the medicine in the food, that too is true.
Right.
With that being said, this is also nothing. For those who are vibrating on a higher frequency, who understand the way distractions work and understand, how to move above that, then this is absolutely nothing. They never miss a hiccup in their lives. But we know that the masses are asses.
Right.
And the masses can create an energy force that you can't ignore. And every now and then in social media, we have these events because information moves so fast now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I felt that the need, because I'm the Black Dot and I wrote Hip Hop Decoded, every now and then I'll double down and just get hip hop with it and give you my perspectives on why I think it's important or just a different outlook. You know what I'm saying? Side note, you see I got on this shirt, hashtag Urban Excellence. This is the new campaign we're pushing about urban excellence, which is the hood standard of embracing our community as a gift and not a curse, and that's on the back of the shirt. You can go to urbanx.nyc, which is our blog, go to our store, and you can purchase one of these shirts and begin to help us change the narrative of what's going on in our community. And it's our way of checks and balances, holding each other accountable on these social media outlets and in the streets, and recognizing the little guy. See, a lot of times we always looking at what the big people are doing, but the little guys are working too. There's kids graduating, there's somebody starting a small business, there's somebody who just had a brand new baby, there's somebody who got promoted at their job. The list goes on and on and on. So urban excellence is wants to recognize that. Hashtag urban excellence, because we want you to get involved. With things going on in your community, just hashtag it, and it's our way of recognizing, because if we don't recognize it, nobody will. So, and we also talked about the hood is what builds us. It's what gives us character. It's like going through, excuse me, an initiation.
Right.
If you can make it in and out of the hood, then you're fine. So hashtag urban excellence, and here we go.
So what's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind is I've been paying attention to the Drake Pusha T situation, and I think it's a little deeper, than what's being portrayed. So what I want to do is walk us through what I feel is the battle between hip hop and hip pop. You know what I'm saying? That's a term I coined. I also coined shit hop, but that's a whole other story. We'll talk about that soon too. In order to talk about the variations of hip hop, the war between good and evil, the war between our higher selves and lower selves. And what I'm noticing is that there is a narrative that goes all the way back to Kumo D and Busy B. All right, the very first solo battle we saw. Now, all of that falls under hip hop because there was no hip pop at the time.
Right.
But we know Busy B took his name from Love Buck Starsky, which fell off the DJ Hollywood tree, and that had more of a disco feel to it. Chief Rocker Busy B we call the greatest entertainer because he can go into any party and rock the party from top to bottom. You know what I'm saying? Asking you your zodiac sign, your name, your this or that. He was the undefeated. Sitting in the wings was a guy named Kumo D, already known from the Treacherous Three, but he was watching from a distance on the way Busy B was operating, and he felt or compelled to say he's very popular. You know what I'm saying? Right. So remember, pop only means short for popular, popular music.
Right.
So I don't want to create a negative notation about it. It's not negative, it just means popular.
Right.
So Busy B was popular. Kumo D, not so much, but we knew Kumo D was dope, so hence they had the battle. And in the battle, Kumo D destroyed Busy B. And in doing so, it led to what I like to call is the first paradigm shift. Now, we understand a lot of people are saying there's a notion that hip-hop is battles. It is, the very culture is going at each other, and that's not necessarily true. When hip-hop was the center of its own universe, when it was only crews and there was no real money involved and it was just about the fame, there were crews who went at each other all in fun, should I say, to test and sharpen each other's skill set. And I always felt the Cold Crush were the greatest at it. They put on the best show. They didn't win every battle. Fantastic Five got them one time, the Force MCs, which later on became the Force MDs. You know, when they first put out their record, I thought they snuck the Cold Crush one night and put on a hell of a show. But the Kumo D Busy B battle was that significant paradigm shift. Unknown Kumo D, or lesser known, popular Chief Rocker Busy B, and from that point on, we began to move forward. I felt the next, because there was plenty of Kumo D versus LL Cool J.
Right.
Now, Kumo D now represents the last of not a dying breed, but the original school. He's from Atlantis. He's from hip hop Atlantis.
Right.
But there was a new generation coming along, and LL Cool J was popular. You know what I'm saying? Took off his shirt. I Need Love. The lady, he was light skinned, because you know we always have these light skin, dark skin issues. You will see this narrative as we move along. So Kumo D, who LL obviously was in the crowd, was a fan of Kumo D, watching his style. You know, but L felt like enough is enough. You old school dudes, it's time for a new generation. So he became popular. You know what I mean? And he knocked off Kumo D, even though I thought rhyme for rhyme, Kumo D, as a purist, got him. Right. But that's beside the point. That's neither here or there. The fact that they, you know, had their battles on wax, and, you know, Kumo D wrote How You Like Me Now, right, which was his biggest hit. And it dealt with people saying that he can rock records. I mean, rock rhymes and rock crowds, but never rock records. So that was his attempt to say, I can be so-called popular too, and put out records that move crowds. But LL had already started the whirlwind. Right. You know what I mean? And that created a different, you know what I'm saying, or the next paradigm shift. We had KRS-One and MC Shan, which wasn't about, you know, hip-hop and hip-hop per se. That was demographics. KRS-One was from the Bronx and MC Shan was from Queens, and MC Shan said, you know, let me let you listen to the time and the place or whatever, which was Queensbridge. Now, technically, as we know, MC Shan wasn't saying all of hip-hop started in Queens. He was saying the genesis of hip-hop for me started in Queensbridge. KRS-One looked at that opportunity to attack, and attack he did. And we got some great music out of it. You know what I mean? So the next, I would say, paradigm shift would probably be Nas and JayZ. I'm skipping along because I can't do them all. This is not a chronicle on MC battles. But in terms of, now you had Nas who was representing knowledge. And you know what I'm saying? And then you had JayZ who was more popular.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he represented drug culture, the street life, and this and that. So you had a battle of knowledge and evil, or good and evil, shall we say. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Well, Nas is representing, and even JayZ said, you know, that shit is garbage, trying to kick that knowledge.
Right.
And as a result of that, we had one of the most monumental battles in hip-hop. Now, I can go back to Tupac and, I'll go Tupac and Biggie, all right, which, again, both of them were popular at the time, and I thought Tupac's Hit 'Em Up, which talked about fucking Biggie's wife. So now it's starting to get, prior to that, it wasn't really nasty per se.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was more, you know, my skill set against yours. There were lines, invisible lines that nobody really crossed. But when Tupac said that line, and I fucked your wife, ouch.
I was, I thought that Hit 'Em Up was overrated.
In terms of the bars?
Yeah.
Well, remember, Tupac wasn't a lyricist.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But I feel like people rate that so high as a diss track for that first line.
Yeah, the first line carried a lot of weight. I thought jacking his beat.
Right, okay.
You see what I'm saying? He jacked his beat. You see what I'm saying? Which was, that's the ultimate diss too. I'm going to get on your beat.
Okay.
And I'm going to disrespect you. And remember, Get Money was a hot track. So by him getting on his beat, because remember, Tupac didn't rhyme on the whole joint. His boys came on after that.
Right.
So it was the opening lines, and it was the climate, should I say.
Okay.
The climate was set. You know, Tupac is home, this, that. They claim Biggie through the who shot you.
Right.
Separate the wheat from the obsolete. You know what I'm saying? I can hear sweat trickling down your cheek. Your heartbeat pounds like Sasquatch feet. Thundering, shaking the concrete. That shit was like, whoa.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was a real East Coast, and they claim he wrote it before that. So, you know, I'm just going with the narrative what's told. I don't think so. But it is what it is. So that is a very critical battle in itself as well.
Okay.
All right? And I want to also add, I wrote a chapter in Hip Hop Decoded called Every Hero Needs a Villain. And every champion needs a great challenger, because without one, what is King Kong without Godzilla?
Right.
They like peanut butter and jelly, right?
Right.
Ali without Foreman or Frazier, Ali Frazier.
Yeah.
They made each other. It was very significant that they, you know what I mean?
Right.
What's Batman without the Joker? The list goes on and on. Batman has no significance in life without the fucking Joker. If you're a superhero, and you just ain't nothing out here to superhero. Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you need villains. I felt JayZ understanding the significance of how important Biggie and Tupac, they're interjoined. You can't say one without the other from now on.
Right.
Right? You have to, they were interjoined. And I felt JayZ a student. Like you can't really say KRS-One without MC Shan. Now, you know, they both went on to have successful careers, but, you know what I mean, in that time frame, you know what I mean? So, Kool Moe Dee, he became famous for what? Knocking out Busy Bee. So the significance of having a great challenger, and prior to JayZ going at Nas, he had no challengers. He stood alone. Biggie was no longer here. He took the throne. I also wrote a New York rhyme story inside of Hip Hop Decoded, which goes through a, you know, crime story-like situation which brought this about. But he stood alone. So I think he understood the significance of a great challenger. And I thought he kind of waited until Nas was at his lowest point. Nas' bodyguard had got popped off. Nas was going through some shit with his moms. And he preemptive attack with the takeover.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A major, and back then there's no social media. So when you heard it, and it was like, oh, Nas is done. Nas is dead. Dead. You know what I mean? Nas took his time because a lot of time an emotional response fucks up your intellectual. Never let your emotions cloud your intellect.
Right. Somebody said that the first version of Ether, I think it was Steve Stout, said the first version of Ether was horrible. He said like that wouldn't have worked.
Got you. Maybe that was more emotional,
right.
Emotionally charged.
Right.
So Nas strikes with the Ether. It becomes one of the greatest battles of all time. You know what I'm saying? Right up there with the great ones. And you know, people who took their sides, I thought not Nas Ether. That's just my opinion on it. But JayZ's response to it was critical because he dropped Super Ugly. And in dropping Super Ugly, it got super ugly. And this will lead up to, you know, some of the other things that's going on today. And not only, you know, he preempted it with, you know who, did you know who, you know, do you know what? You know who, did you know what, but you know who. Let's keep that between me and you. Nas went ahead and he tried to preempt that by going up to, I think it was Hot 97 or one of the stations and saying, yeah, JayZ, you know, he fucked my baby moms, before JayZ could hold that over his head. Right. Remember, this is chess, this is not checkers. You know what I mean? And you have to decide when a move has to be made and when a move, So anyway, Ether was so powerful, it sent the people up at Rockefeller scrambling. JayZ was up there, he told me himself. He said he was sitting right there when they debuted that shit. And he was like, God damn, you know what I mean? So they began to scramble. As we know later on, Dame Dash wasn't in town. He was in LA or something. Because he said if he was there, the shit would have never happened because we're already winning. Right. He felt his shit was, the takeover was truth. Nas shit was jokes. But who said jokes are not a part of battle rap?
That is my
who says
argument, yeah.
Jokes is all a part of it. How do I win the crowd? If I'm getting the crowd response because my shit is funny about you being ugly and needing a hug and all of that old kind of shit, and us Queens niggas run you niggas, ask Russell Simmons, right? Because Russell Simmons ran them niggas. Right. And he also told that nigga to apologize, right? In the last lines of those signs, which became significant later on, right? Because he did apologize. So JayZ, in my humble opinion, and Clark Kent and them, they got emotional with the shit and tried to squash the momentum. See, there's no social media, but doesn't mean there isn't an energy source created. Right. That Ether shit created an energy source. See, the takeover did as well, but the takeover, JayZ was addressing a number of issues. He just gave that nigga 16 bars or whatever the case may be. You know, he threw Prodigy in there and Summer Jam screen. All right, because that's what Pusha T just did to Drake. He put him on the Summer Jam screen. I'll tell you, we'll get to that in a minute. So the Summer Jam screen shit, you know, showing Prodigy as a ballerina and all that old kind of shit. Bung bung. So now we at war here. He drops Super Ugly, and it got super ugly for him. Because one of the lines, you know, the line about the baby mama shit, that's cool. But when he said I dropped the condoms in the baby seat, or I left the condoms in the baby seat, I think even the hardest MC or battle was like, goddamn, now we involving the kids. And it got to the point where JayZ's own moms called him and said, come on, Jay. Come on, Sean. We don't do that. And she's probably just looking at it from a motherly perspective. She's listening on the battle. My son is popular. He's out here in these streets. Boom, boom, boom. JayZ came up to the station and did what?
Apologized.
He apologized. Right? He even recognized, that might be a little too, why am I involving this man's child? Right. Now, you know what I mean? So the term super ugly became a narrative. Now, if you listen to battle rap, all battle rap is super ugly. Like, they don't pull any punches. They don't give a fuck who you are. If your mom's dead, they don't give a fuck. You put out a great piece today called Fair or Not.
Too Far.
Too Far on urbanx.nyc, which is our blog, and you were beginning to question what is too far. Is something too far or not too far? Right. You talked about some of the classic lines of spit them to me.
Well, Cam said he would R. Kelly Nas's daughter.
He said he would R. Kelly Nas's daughter. Ouch.
Right. Gucci Mane told Young Jeezy to dig his homie up.
Dig your dead homie up.
Yep.
Ouch.
I think he killed him.
Yeah. He bodied him.
Yeah. The Locks made Sorry Miss Jackson about 50's dead mother.
Ooh. Yeah. So we had a couple of where it was super ugly, like all bets is off now. Right. So that can of worms is open. Now, so after the 50 Cent, the JayZ and Nas shit, I think Ja Rule and 50 Cent also represented hip hop versus hip pop. Right. What was becoming hip hop. Ja Rule's catalog is crazy. All right? He was popular. Murder Inc. was bumping. He doing songs with J-Lo and Ashanti and Fat Joe and you know what I'm saying? Along comes 50 Cent. Street. Street element. Right? So there's always a component of the streets that's like, fuck them dudes. Right. Until you get there. Now you become the dude. Right. And now dudes is trying to and that also is representative of an aspect of ourselves, our lower selves fighting our higher selves. Because every battle you in, you really battling yourself. Right? Not to get too metaphysical with it, but everybody in your life is a reflection of you in some capacity. Right. You know what I mean? So 50 Cent and Ja Rule, they both from Queens. Right. So this shit was street, which breaks real battle rules. You know, we usually didn't get street with it. But the narrative was, you high on the hog, I'm out here in these streets. So I'm bringing an army or legion from the streets, and you in the record industry. You know what I mean? So we had that battle, which was a monumental, all-out battle. Right. You know what I mean? Where Ja Rule is now a footnote.
Sound crazy.
In hip-hop. Like, oh shit, remember Ja? You know. I had a friend who went to a concert recently with Ja Rule and Ashanti, and just it brought back how powerful their movement was. Right. But prior to that, you don't hear them songs. 50 aligned himself with Eminem and Dr. Dre on his production. And when when that shit came out, it again shifted the consciousness of the people. Get Rich or Die Trying became a narrative, and you could feel the energy of 50 on this record. You could feel his hunger, his pain. He had got shot 9 times. He survived. He also started snitching.
Yeah.
Side dude.
Flat out snitching.
Flat out snitching.
Yeah, but
I think he's the one who began the snitching under the context of putting out a hot record. All right, he was telling on Supreme, Ghetto Quran, and you know this nigga. What's the nigga who shot him? Hamo, and then he got shot. Yeah. You know, it became one of those kind of things. But the narrative has been the same. Niggas from the streets is going at these niggas in the industry. Even though the niggas in the industry was niggas in the street.
Yeah, you could say the same thing about 50 when he got on top. And
he took Ja Rule. He started singing on songs in the game.
And then Jadakiss.
Right.
It's kind of the same thing.
It's a cycle. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. It's a cycle. And Jadakiss and Fat Joe and all them went at 50 because 50, he broke the cardinal. He was going at his own niggas in New York. You know what I mean? Which became an L. The battle between Beans and Jadakiss, I think, is the only one that was like street. Right. You know, if I want to get technical, I'm pretty sure there was others. But both of those guys were in the street. And that could have got ugly.
But that actually started because Jada was going at JayZ.
Absolutely. And a street nigga, Jadakiss, saying we not industry, we in the streets. Right. That they're the ones who coined that phrase, if memory serves me correct. We ain't industry, we in the streets. And JayZ had been getting a little, high on the hog, but JayZ had buffers at this time. Right, and the buffers was, Beans and state property. He had, you couldn't just get to JayZ at that specific point. And that came from a remix on a song with R. Kelly, and it gets real technical where egos get involved. And we're talking a lot of money at this time, too. So we have to keep that in mind. There's a lot of money involved, a lot of real estate involved. and a lot of corporations are now involved. Like if your album dropped, when my album dropped, somebody's not getting paid.
Right.
So this became, you know, street niggas on some industry shit. You can't sell on this block, nigga. All right? And this ain't just drugs, nigga. This is icy trucks, nigga. You can have an icy stand and the next nigga come up and be like, look, son, this is my route. You know what I'm saying? When I come back through here, you can't be through here selling cherry and mango ices, nigga. You know, so that's just competition in itself. So I say all of that to say, then we had a short thing between 50 and Kanye. Okay, where, Kanye was pop.
That was probably the
pop life, you know, flashing lights and you know.
That was a real paradigm shift.
Yeah, that was a real paradigm shift.
About the way
because 50 took the L.
Yeah.
I don't think he should have. His album was amazing.
I thought that album was good too.
But it was signifying, nigga, this is hip hop now. This is. I'm not even an MC now. I'm battling a nigga who is an MC. Right? That's a paradigm shift. Let's use this MC versus MC, my bars versus your bars, who got the dopest styles. It became other shit now. Like, you know, who's got more money? You know what I mean? If I got more money, it's like, you know, shooting dice, nigga. If I'm loaded, you can't beat me. You big bank gonna take little bank eventually. So it became, you know, ultimate, you know, multi-layered, should I say. So 50 Cent lost because JayZ popped up at the last minute, and then when the weak sales came through, then it was Def Jam versus Interscope and who could put more records out, and probably with some behind the scenes shit. JayZ and them might have bought more records. I don't know. But 50 was buried at that point because he had did Get Rich or Die Trying. What was the album after that? Massacre. And then it was this album, I believe.
Curtis, yep.
Right. What was the name of it?
Curtis. And
at this point, Kanye started with more, you know, popular songs, more songs that weren't really hip hop. They were hip hop. They were more catered toward, you know, backpackers and shit, and skateboarders and all that old kind of shit. And Kanye wins that battle. You know, so Kanye kind of wins that battle, at least on paper. Not for hip hop purists. You know, hip hop purists are only looking at delivery, stage presence, punchlines, cadences, dope bars. That's all we care about. But this is, now we're entering into a social media era, right? Where it's, your thoughts could be co-opted and you could be swayed to believe some shit that ain't even true or ain't even real. So that brings us to Meek Mill. Again, a street nigga, right? And an industry nigga named Drake. Fully industry. I call him Dr. Ache. I always break his name into two pieces because he's always in pain. He's always looking for sympathy from the ladies. That was his spiel. I get it. Drake makes good records. All right? Let's just be clear about it. He'll make a good thumper.
Definitely.
Right? Meek Mill represents the streets and he ain't playing with that. His narrative is the streets. I know we talk about he need to expand his you know, his vocabulary, and we toy around with it, but he makes no qualms about giving you his experience the best way he can articulate his experience. All right, so he gets into it. I ain't gonna get into all the details with Drake. Drake sitting high on the hog. He done made about 50 #1 hits or some shit. Right now, we not at the time understanding he had a team of writers, but that's acceptable under the hip pop standard. And I've been trying to explain this to people. Once it becomes about record sales and streams and Coca-Cola and Pepsi and big concerts, all the people want, they don't want to know how the fuck the donuts is made. I really don't want to know how jelly donuts is made. I just want to know it's a tasty fucking jelly donut. Right? So when I go or get my Krispy Kremes or whatever, I'm not going, damn, how did they make this donut? Right? So Drake is delivering the goods. Hip hop purists are going, wait a minute. I mean, you know what I mean? Because this just shit ain't adding up. And then exposed was the reference tracks, and we go, aha! So you talking shit, and you can't back that shit up. Right. Most times when I battle you, especially if you're trying to put yourself in the mindset of the top 5, or you start talking that shit. Now, let me tell you this about Drake too, and which I appreciate. He don't kill nobody on his records, or talk like violence. He don't call too many people bitches. It's always love for the ladies. My heart is broken. He don't sell no drugs. You know what I mean? As a parent, I'm 50 years old. I like that. You know what I'm saying? My daughter can listen to a Drake record, and it's a PG-13 record. That's not the whole story of our existence here and what we do. Right. So I always gave Drake a couple of extra points. But me as an MC, I know, okay, his bars ain't up there. I would never compare him to Kane or somebody like that. You know what I mean? Or even somebody like JayZ, who probably is pissed off because this dude is throwing shots at Jay too. For a while. For a while. And Jay is like, wait a minute, I write bars. Nigga, like, I could actually, but, now watch this. As we talk about popular, he became more popular than JayZ, because JayZ's an old school dude. JayZ been around since 96. When I tell my daughter, they go, oh, JayZ, that old dude. So remember, there's always a paradigm shift within the times, and young people like what they like. For us, I'm riding with Jay all day on this. You know what I'm saying? I know his story, where he came from, the whole 9 yards. So now Jay is the dude from the streets. Even though he's corporate America. It's a weird dynamic. Maybe not from the streets, that's the wrong term. Well, originally he's from the streets, became corporate, now he's unpopular. Let's just use, okay, he's fading in terms of popularity. He's getting his money, he's moved on to a whole nother executive level of shit. But the people on the streets, the young girls and all that, they fucking with Drake. Right. And Drake senses this and understands, if I'm gonna go at the top, now is the time to do it, because I'm popular. Right. Right? I've said it again. Murder Mook would murder Drake in a battle. Yeah. But he would lose based on popularity. Right? If everybody said, call in now, dial in 1 on your phone, hit 1 and tell me if Murder Mook won or Drake won, Drake's gonna win in a landslide. Right. But these are about people who are unfamiliar with hip hop and the road, the breakdown of how hip hop works, because it's only a popularity contest. Drake started believing this shit, that he's very popular. He can't miss. Now, I've been around a long time, and you see some guys who put out a great album, but within the album, there's some songs that just miss. Even JayZ, you're like, Jay, that was a good shot, but this nigga Drake wasn't missing. Literally, yeah. He literally was not missing. Right? And he was riding the wave. Whatever's popular, Jamaican shit popular. Give me some of that shit. This shit popular. Give me some of that shit. Right. He needed a villain. Every superhero needs a villain. Every champion needs a challenger. Right. He understands history as well. He know that Nas and JayZ are always connected now, as far as I'm concerned. Once you talk to history, Biggie and Tupac, Shan and KRS, Kumo D and Busy B, you know what I'm saying? The list goes on. So, the reference tape leak or whatever, your man jump on that. Yeah, Meek. Meek jumps on that. Bad move on Meek's part. Because I don't think Meek really thought the whole thing through. He definitely did. He just was like, yo, let me get at this nigga, you know what I'm saying?
And he thought, he was going by old school hip hop rules, where he thought reference tracks, that means you don't write, you're done. You're done. This is done, nigga. We pulled up your skirt, nigga. You're done. There's nothing you can say about it. That's hip hop. That's hip hop. Right. Hip hop. Right. Is a whole different ballgame. And he hit him with the charged up, I thought it was a little weak, and then he hit him with the back-to-back. And what made back-to-back different, as we know, is that it was a song you could dance to. Not only were the bars crazy, he hit him with a popular song, a song that charted, right? A battle song that might have been the first one that charted. Everybody else who put in their battle, I don't give a fuck, just throwing a freestyle beat, I'm gonna get at you, this ain't about charts, this is about the culture. Or this nigga put out a song that
back. You in the club, back to back. Your grandmother, back to back. I don't know what he's saying, but that, right? Fucked him up. He couldn't recover. Now, had he attacked back quick, he might have, but then back to back became a snowball going downhill. Yeah. And by the time he looked up, it was already with social media, with memes, with information moving faster than light now. So now, you know, with the internet, niggas have a meme on you in 30 seconds, bang, 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 and it becomes very, you know, and it becomes hard to survive in the world of hip hop. Right? Right. Now, Drake is feeling himself by now, gotta be. You know what I'm saying? I would, you know. Your ego gets involved. You know what I mean? Oh shit. Bodied that nigga. So not only am I making happy songs, PG-13 songs that's snappy, right? You can listen to in the car and shit. Now I done delved into the street realms.
You had that on your resume
I got that on my resume.
As a great now.
As a great now. You have to put me up, you know what I mean? If I can't get to Jay right now, because Jay is busy making billions, I'm a, you know, body one of his minions. You know, whatever the case may be. And Jay is probably orchestrating that behind the scene too, you know what I'm saying? Because he fucked Flex over. He fucked Flex over, had Flex thinking, yo, I got the exclusive, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop that Meek Mill exclusive, you know what I'm saying, 8 o'clock. And it never showed up. I thought that was JayZ, because remember, Flex got at Jay on some shit and pulled Jay down a couple of notches, like, you a corporate nigga now, I'm still in these streets. So that's another sub battle. Right. Flex is like, nigga, I DJ, I'm on the ground. And now you too big for that. You know what I'm saying? You corporate now. And so forth and so on. So just sub battles going on, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to keep the narrative in place. So prior to all that, there was some shots thrown by Pusha T and Drake and some Kendrick. Oh, yeah, well, Drake avoided Kendrick at all costs. He looked, you know how the nigga you want to fight is right here and you keep looking past that nigga. The nigga like, yo, nah, son, nah, like I'm trying to get at, because he didn't want no parts of Kendrick. Because that's like an L. That's a full L, because Kendrick is hip hop and he could delve into hip hop if he wanted to. He's the truth. You know what I mean? Because remember, MCs can rap, but rappers can't necessarily MC. Right? MCing is the whole shit, bars, vocabulary, intelligence, cadence, the whole nine. Rap is rap. You know, just little words that rhyme. Some of them don't even have to rhyme. That's rap. You know what I mean? The industry, the vibration of hip hop was too strong, too spiritual. The industry and Europeans don't understand all of that shit. So they slowed that shit down to rap. Something we can understand. Now I get it. And use that as the means to go into corporate America and sell the culture. Right. You can't sell hip hop like that. You know what I mean? Hip hop is your life, your walk, your talk. You can't sell that, nigga. Chop this shit into little pieces. We can turn this shit into rap. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm always differentiating between hip hop or MCing and rap. MCs can rap because MC can easily dumb his shit down. Right. JayZ told you. I used to rhyme like common sense after 5 million soul. I ain't been rhyming like common sense. And we consider Jay hip hop. But Jay was tinkering, you know, like, dude, I'm gonna slow this shit down, dumb this shit down where the people can understand this shit. Right. Taking that shit way up, you lose money there. And that's just mathematics. If I make a song that vibrates with the people, that's talking about ass shaking, drugs, survival, killing, that's a masses type of formula. Of course your shit will resonate more. If I'm making songs about cracking atoms and multi-dimensional flows that, you know, the geometrical patterns of my style can open up other vortexes. Whoa, nigga, that's some deep shit. That means that's going further up the ladder. Obviously you'll have a smaller fan base there. You'll have a fan base, but it's a smaller fan base. This is common sense. When nigga know how to go in the studio and make a song that's gonna hit, or make a song for his ego, or his journey here is to bust open other shit to prepare us for, because if you bust open a vortex, it's now an opening, it's a bottleneck opening, but for those who are looking for something greater, who see this as something bigger than this and are using the tones and vibrations to follow that rhythm, right? Jay Electronica, dope MC, you know what I'm saying? Whose geometrical patterns, if you could picture the words coming out, is different. The geometrical patterns coming from his brain are different, but it's still geometry. Right. You know what I mean? It's a higher vibration of geometry. Cambada is the next version of that. Go get his album, Cambada. Go to cambadamusic.com. CAMBATTA.com. An amazing young artist. And that's just a few. You have other Killer Priests. You have other ones who they resonate higher. So they suffer from the sales. Right? That's just, you know, basic math. If I'm with all of the strip clubs going on right now, you can make an ass jingle song that only plays in the strip clubs, and you can survive because you're getting the rotations in the strip clubs. So this brings me to Drake and Pusha. Now, Pusha drops his album. Let's get to his album cover first. I thought that was disrespectful to use Whitney Houston's Death.
I don't think that was the Death one.
Yeah, that's the Death one.
Is it?
Yeah, that's all the drugs and shit up on the counter there.
Okay.
With the mirror and all that old kind of shit. Bobby I was going to say Bobby Hemmett. Bobby Brown said he gonna punch him in his face when he see him. Side note.
He didn't. Kanye was the one that did it.
Yeah, okay, but at the same time, you should have a say-so, you being the president of good music. Okay. Pusha T is the president of good music, is he not?
Yeah.
He should have a say-so in, nah, nigga, I ain't going there. So now, you know, just looking at the artwork, I'm like, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? And I heard Kanye pay $85,000 for the picture, or whatever the case may be. Bad choice for me, but the album drops, and it's a good album.
It was hard.
It's hard. It's a hard body album. The one thing I hate about Pusha T is the one thing I respect about Pusha T, which sounds like an oxymoron. I hate the fact that he's talking about drug selling as if he's talking about selling sandwiches. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate that because we understand the significance of how drugs fucked our hood up.
Right.
But so did soda, fucked the hood up. So did pharmaceutical drugs. So if we want to get technical about it, what I love about it is he stayed true all of these years to who he is.
Right.
That's a hip hop trait. Don't try to become popular. Don't try to conform your style and ride whatever's hot, like Drake is doing. Whatever's hot, I'm fucking with that. He stayed true to who he is. That's pure artistry. You know, the fact that he's staying true, Pusha, his integrity of what he's talking about, he has an audience for that.
Right.
And he's saying, I'm willing to sacrifice whatever the sales may be to be true as an artist. See, a lot of time we think as an artist, and I understand sometimes you want to grow as an artist, but you want that growing to be authentic.
Right. Like he's talking about drug dealing, but now he's talking about it like an ex-drug dealer. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm in the corporate world now, but like that's
always going to be a part of me.
Right.
And as I watched this interview with Flex, I thought some of the critical things he talked about was, you got to go outside. He said, I just can't stop going outside in my community.
Right.
The minute you start feeling you are above your community, you do lose touch. You know what I'm saying? So when Flex is telling Jay, you're a corporate nigga now, you ain't on the corner now, you do lose a little bit of your swag, so to speak. You know what I mean? So I can understand that. Side note, Hakeem Green from Channel Live, I believe it was Hakeem who said, drug selling is more blackface than what Drake did. And it got me to thinking. I was like, wow, that's a deep statement. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know what I mean?
Right.
You're killing the community and some nigga is buffooning himself. Right. Or, you know what I mean? So, the Infrared song, you know, we talked about it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? We talked about how the bars seemed a little outdated, or the reference to Quentin seemed a little outdated.
Right.
But he saved that song for last.
Yeah.
To, you know, make his point and get at Drake. It's just a little jab.
Right.
As fast as Drake responded, concerned me. That must mean he knew that this was coming.
He had to.
You can't make a song up that fast unless you're trying to imply that now you are a writer and that you can go in the booth. he had to know. Somebody in somebody's camp leaked something.
The people in the industry get albums way before they come out.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So he probably heard it.
Or somebody put him on and said, yo, on this Infrared song,
right,
this is what's going to pop. Drake's response, Duppy, was it Duppy?
Duppy freestyle.
Duppy freestyle, which is of course a reference to a Jamaican ghost or something. I thought was hot.
Yeah.
I thought he attacked. He does what Drake does. He got in at him, and considering it's the week of Pusha T's album,
the day of,
I thought it was very strategic to steal energy away from Pusha T. And I guess he thought that would really be the end of it. He really thought. Now he did make reference to his wife.
Right.
Let's peel back just a few layers of it.
Right. First, I want to say, so you know how we give Jay criticisms on Takeover for going at other people and only giving Nas a verse.
Yes.
You can kind of say that for the Duppy freestyle because I think he gave the most.
Kanye.
The most damaging bars to Kanye.
Yeah, and why do you think that was? First of all, Kanye's not an MC.
Right.
So it made me think, as Pusha T broke down, that this is about real estate. This is understanding this month, starting with Pusha T, tomorrow Kanye drops. Yep. A week after that, Kanye and Cudi drops. A week after that, Nas drops. A week after that, Tiana Taylor drops.
Right.
Scorpion King is supposed to drop in June too.
Right.
So this is a preemptive chess move by Drake to carve out some space, try to stop the bleeding, like stop it before the snowballs start coming downhill.
Right.
Put a Band-Aid on this shit before this shit explodes.
Right.
And it backfires. It backfires because sitting in the cut the whole time, Pusha T had to be saying, I saw what happened to Meek.
Right.
I'm gonna be ready at all cost. So when Drake mentions his wife, Virginia Williams is her name or something, all bets were off at that specific time. Because his return bars were extremely violent, not violent, but they were vicious.
Right.
They were no holds barred. They even made me go, God damn, like, ouch. And he used the excuse that he said something about my wife as the reason he could do that. And I'm not going to deny that because I really don't know. I just think he was going to make that move anyway because he has nothing to lose. He's the street nigga. Drake is the popular hip hop nigga.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now I feel Drake has bitten off more than he can chew.
I agree.
Okay? He talked about his man 40 as a producer. Having, he never mentioned multiple sclerosis, but he said he was sick. Ironic, the next day was multiple sclerosis day.
Yeah.
Ouch, in which 40 is an ambassador for. He mentioned his baby snitching. This shit is snitching. You know what I'm saying? The baby with the porn star.
Right.
Side note: this porn star. They said Iman Shumpert has been in her.
Yeah.
ASAP Rocky has been in her. A backup dancer for Beyonce has been in her. They say she's married to a nigga for a green card.
Yeah.
This is sloppy.
It's gross.
It's very gross. The fact that all of these dudes continue to share the same girls, very disgusting, and you bareback that.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That's nasty, Drake. Drake, come on, man. Come on. Yeah. Shit. And then you now have to bear the seed of the child. Can you imagine the vibration of this child? Y'all need to watch this child because this might be the Damien baby. 666. Check that baby motherfucking forehead when that baby come out, cause shit. ASAP was still, I heard, poking her while she was pregnant with Drake's baby. Just that kind of energy and force, and then you a porn star to begin with, and how many dudes done drop fluid up in you, and how much shit you done ingested. I don't want to get all gross with it. But now it's on. You've been a fake MC. You've been hip hop. You started believing your own hype. I'm waiting for the response now. You got 4 days. You say less than that. I say 4 since he's the one who set the mandate for 4 days.
I don't think he could drop on a weekend. I think he has to drop on a Friday.
Okay, he has to drop on a Friday because if he drop on a weekend, it would lose
it. Kind of gets swallowed up.
Okay, I think the world is waiting for it.
Yeah.
I also think in social media nowadays, people will forget about this shit in a month.
Right.
You know, and be on to the next shit of what's going on and this and that. But it'll be, you know, this could bury him. He could become a footnote of hip hop the way Ja Rule did. He really could. Because not only that, Pusha T said I did some songs with Quentin Miller. So you know Quentin Miller been giving him the whole inside, nigga, tell me what's going on the inside, on the other side of the wall of OVO. And he probably laid it out, man, the first door you come in, niggas here, then we got a few writers here, we go to YouTube and we try to catch the wave of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And ride that into something. I used to think, I accused JayZ of doing that shit for years. You know, whatever's hot, just ride that a little bit. You know what I mean? So we're gonna pay very close attention, but I wanted to drop this to say the narrative of street nigga, corporate nigga, good versus evil.
You know, because I was saying, like, I think the longer this goes on, the worse it is for Drake.
Why is that?
Because he has a clean image. And even more so, I feel like he's been doing more to protect that image with the God's Plan video.
Yeah, he was gonna run that campaign and the Adidas campaign.
Right.
Let's not forget.
Right.
Pusha cleverly, playing chess, shut that campaign down. You're gonna you're gonna announce your baby at a fucking Adidas event or make a campaign out of. That shows little respect for your child.
After you denied it.
After you denied it all of this time. Right. They are saying he is taking care of his child. Now let's get to the blackface. Let's not miss that.
Right.
So these are authentic pictures of Drake in blackface.
Right.
And he released a fucking statement. If that ain't the whitest shit, you know what I mean? See, that's the white side of Drake. Yeah. I'm going to release a statement on Instagram or Twitter or something about his explanation of why he did this.
Right.
It doesn't add up to me.
Me neither.
We'll read the explanation tonight on the show. Tune into our podcast, which will be airing very shortly. But I just felt I wanted to eat up this because I didn't want to spend too much time on our podcast going through all the particulars, you know. But something Red Pill said, and I thought was significant. He said, if you were that concerned and you was doing this to bring light to so and so, how come none of that is reflective in your music?
At all.
At all. In this day and time. If that was bothering you then, and I know it's technically before you got into rap, you were an actor first, and this was a Canadian clothing line. And side note, as me and you talked about,
Canadians didn't go through no Jim Crow.
As a Canadian, you didn't go through Jim Crow.
Right.
So how could you even synthesize the experience? So, nah, it ain't that
nothing. And people pulling up what was happening now, again, Snowball, what's happening now, people pulling up old interviews of him saying, you know, I didn't really go through racism in Toronto. Toronto's really open, you know.
Right, right. So now you're contradicting the statement you just released.
Right.
And side note, I think I saw a video of some dude grabbing his ass.
Yes.
Okay, what's the deal with you guys getting your ass palmed? All right, Danny Glover, is it Donald Glover?
Yeah.
All right, got his ass palmed and kissed by some white dude as a part of some on stage shit. And then I see the video of Drake, and he's getting his ass palmed.
Yeah.
So I'm taking a few points away for that shit. I don't give a fuck, right? So the blackface is important. The track he used, very important.
Yeah.
Because this is an indication that JayZ had to sanction that track.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And him narrating it as the story of Adondis or whatever the case may be.
Yep.
Adidon, tied into the track, you wearing blackface, you still a nigga. I thought was all significant, and this is JayZ's imprint somewhere, his hand in there somewhere, because it's time for Drake to fall. All right? It's time for that. He's from the Draco star system, as Blue Pill would break down. That's why he's called Drake, as we want to get all, you know, deal with it from a cosmic perspective. He called the birth of Drake. I did too on one of my DVDs where I superimposed the 7 chakras over the whole East Coast. And I said the reason the music in the South bumps that way is because it's the lower chakras. And as it moved up the East Coast, when it got to New York, I said that's the you know what I'm saying, the brainchild of it, but I said up here is where Toronto is, and one day we may get an MC. I'll put the links up when I can find. I did like 50 DVDs. I don't know which one it was, but that was my way of also foretelling a made-up MC. Drake is a made-up MC. He's Jewish, or he has Jewish roots. Who runs the industry? The Jews. You know what I mean? So, you know, this whole aspect of them using Drake to, you know, move their agenda is not far-fetched as you may think it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? Light skin, Drake, you know what I'm saying? The whole, you know, narrative of this and that. And because the Jews have some kind of affinity for him, they didn't have to dip him into violence or use him for the violence agenda or the, you know what I mean? He's dealing with feminine energy all the way through.
Right.
Dr. Ake is dealing with feminine energy. So I just wanted to spend a little time in hopes that this could shed some clarity on what's going on. So pay attention, but don't get locked into it because it is everything.
Right.
And it is nothing at the same time. Any questions?
Nah.
Okay, so with that being said, you already know what it is. It's the black dot. Subscribe to our channel. Donate to our channel because we need your support. And
visit UrbanX at NYC for your Urban Excellence shirts.
Yeah, Urban Excellence shirts. They going for what, 30? 30 cents. Something front and back, something you can wear. And bump, you know, we got the ladies joints coming soon too. This is a soft little launch, you know what I'm saying? Right. We want to promote this and get at us.
Right.
Peace.